Under the dark cover of night, while millions of Americans sleep, Beatrice Ortiz sits in her car, just feet from all of this chaos, and prays.
What time did you get here?
4 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yes.
She's the first in a long line of vehicles already waiting just outside the Alamo Dome in San Antonio.
I read my Bible, reading books, just sitting here waiting for, to get the food. That way we could be okay.
Over in the parking lot,
Go ahead, Dahlia.
What's up?
Dahlia Contreras and her crew from the Foodbank are preparing for the rush.
They're already putting the cones in place of where the car flow should be going.
Today, they will hand out free food to 2,000 families. Up to 70% of them, like Beatrice, have never been here before.
Thank you, Jesus, for the food bank, because there's a lot of people hurting out here. A lot of people.
The COVID-19 pandemic has put enormous pressure on families to fulfill the most basic need, putting food on the table.
I lost my job in the middle of March.
And now it's getting down to the nitty-gritty.
I never thought I'd need help.
All across the country, people are risking exposure out of desperation. Lines of cars extending for miles, iconic sports arenas repurposed into massive food banks.
Hunger knows no bounds.
Every food bank is trying to make sure that people in their community don't go hungry.
This crisis is now adding to that number of people who are food insecure every day.
As unemployment numbers soar past 22 million, many worry supply won't be able to keep up with demand. Tonight, we go behind those long lines and the battle food banks are fighting to feed the hungry. Dahlia Contreras lives by a simple motto, inked deep into her skin.
It's why do we fall so we can learn to pick ourselves up.
Dahlia is the volunteer operations manager at the San Antonio Food Bank.
So what they're doing is they're sorting through all the stuff back there.
The 25-year-old says in her 5 years working with the food bank, including the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey, she has never seen anything like what's happening now.
Did you ever imagine that there would be a situation like this, where a pandemic would affect so many people?
I've never imagined this, but I'm prepped to adapt in any situation. From what we're going through right now, it's been a big eye-opener, and we're learning a lot.
And this pandemic is almost like a hurricane hitting the entire country all at once.
It's crazy. It really is.
You just move it on this side.
Among the country's 25 biggest cities, San Antonio has the highest percentage of people living in poverty, and that was before COVID-19. CEO Eric Cooper has worked in the industry for 25 years.
Normally, the food bank would feed about 60,000 people a week. That number jumped to 120,000 people a week. There's a lot of working poor families that are on the edge, and now the COVID-19 crisis has pushed them over that edge.
Now, the sheer size of the food bank events is staggering. In the first week of April, 10,000 cars showed up for a single distribution. With so many first-timers, Dahlia says she sees a range of emotions.
What do you tell a person who may feel a bit of shame about this?
We just want to make them feel like home, like we're family. We just let them know it's fine, it's okay. And like I said earlier, I truly believe when we hit a bump, we're just going to get right back up. We don't judge.
The work never stops. As we pack up, Dahlia is just hours away from that massive event at the Alamo Dome.
We're gonna give 2 per family too. You guys will be lanes 3 and 4. You guys will be 5 and 6.
At 10 a.m., the distribution gets underway, and the first car through
They're already bringing them in.
belongs to Beatrice Ortiz, who spent 18 hours in line. Her car is prepped, her trunk empty, and before the food, a surprise, a $20 gas card, and then she is off.
Thank you so much, thank you.
At each and every station, Beatrice greets and shows gratitude.
Good morning.
By the end, her trunk is overflowing,
Thank you.
and so is her heart.
You are so elated and so happy.
Yeah. Well, everybody's, everybody can go home and feed their families today. That's the good part about it. Without a worry.
Thank you. Can the food bank continue at this rate?
We don't know. I'm anxious because I worry that because the demand is so high, our supply is inadequate. But our community is rallying, and that's what's inspiring me. I and many other food banks are making an appeal to our cities, our counties, our state, and the federal government that we need to be acting now to make sure no family in America goes hungry.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Did you want to get food?
I do.
Awesome.
A couple hours later, we meet Erica Aguirre-Campos, a recently divorced mother of 3.
Okay, here at the food bank, there's one of the volunteers. She's super cheery.
I would imagine this is just, if nothing else, this is peace of mind for
Absolutely.
the next 2 weeks.
Absolutely. I mean, I know that will sustain, through the next few weeks, and that's a huge relief. Oh, yeah. Okay, you carry the rice, okay?
Yes.
My refrigerator. We are running low on milk. That milk will be gone by tomorrow.
For Erica, as her food supply has been shrinking, her fear has been mounting.
I'm out of eggs. I really could use some butter. I never imagined that I would be in this state ever. Never.
The single mother of a grown son and 2 young daughters recently bought her first home.
We just have to, more than anything, keep our children safe and provide for them and try to keep this house over their head. I mean, they love the house.
Keeping the house is getting harder.
Every penny I make is to keep my house and to keep the light on and the water running.
You can make holes in these to connect them.
Her ex-husband lost his job, so he's been homeschooling their 5- and 6-year-old girls so she can continue to work from home.
Can we see?
I thought I had a fox.
Without his financial support, Erica has lost 1/3 of her income. She received her stimulus check, but had to use it to pay the mortgage.
It's my turn.
Erica is facing a reality no parent wants to. She needs help right now to simply put food on the table.
I felt embarrassed almost, and ashamed, but I had to get past those feelings, knowing that there's no shame in making sure that my kids are fed.
In many states, the pandemic has hit so hard, food banks are calling in the National Guard to help.
There you go, sweetie. I'm gonna leave this open, okay? Have a good day, hon. We wear this uniform to serve our people.
Sergeant Tori Lewis is on assignment in Dayton, Ohio, at a mass distribution put on by the food bank there.
Anybody is welcome to come. We are actually expected to serve like 1,600 families today.
This mission is personal for Sergeant Lewis. She grew up in Dayton. She goes to school at OSU just down the road in Columbus. And when COVID-19 hit, she lost her job as a bartender and put school on hold.
I knew that school can wait and my education could wait, but I know the families that are in need, they can't wait.
Lewis is one of 30 Guard members at the food bank called in to aid the shrinking staff.
Each family would get 1 box, and there's probably enough food in this box for about 2 weeks.
Daquarious Branch and Charles Martin are in charge of keeping the food supply flowing. Besides mass distribution, the food bank puts on 3 drive-thrus every week.
I would have been one of those people in the car that needed this, and so when I get the chance to choose the product of what they need, it makes me feel amazing.
We have to have worries on the front line, and we all have fears and worried about ourselves and our family members, but we have to put that aside and just realize that this is bigger than us.
Chief Development Officer Lee Truesdale is usually out fundraising.
So I got a variety of stuff here.
Now, she's helping those in need fill their trunks.
On a normal week, we see upwards of 250 families during that time. Right now, we're seeing as many as 667. Usually 45 to 50% of those individuals are new.
The food bank partners and supplies more than 100 local nonprofits. It holds food distributions in the city, suburbs, and rural counties. No area is untouched by the pandemic.
So in March, for the first time ever in the drive-thru, we had to limit service to every 30 days. That was hard. So luckily in April, things started to pick up. We've been able to lift that 30-day service, which is fantastic.
Truesdale says they expect the ripple effect from the pandemic will mean increased demand for up to 2 years.
Beautiful cherry tomatoes that we got from the food bank.
Tonight, millions of Americans will celebrate surviving another day in the midst of a devastating pandemic by eating a dinner so graciously given, so humbly received.
It's okay to reach out for help. It's okay take that lending hand right now and hope for the opportunity in the future to give back, because that's definitely my intention.
That can be the very first one.
That means one day she could be on Dahlia's volunteer team, ready to pay it forward.
When you go to sleep at night, what do you think about?
I think the peace of mind that I have every night is that we're helping people out. It's an honor to be a part of this, just to be working with my colleagues side by side. It's a blessing.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.